Okay, so hello to our audience of Melzone Radio Show. We are at Le Chabada in Angers, and we've got the huge pleasure to be with one member from a band coming from Finland, BRYMIR. So first of all, welcome. Can you first introduce to our audience?
Hello, I'm Viktor. I'm the singer and songwriter from BRYMIR. And first time in, how you pronounce the Angers? Angers, okay. Yeah. First time in Angers, really happy to be here. First big European tour, it's going really well. So yeah, pretty good. Huh?
Cool. Yeah, it's a massive European tour with Fintroll and Skalmold. So welcome to Angers. So to begin, for the people who are not very familiar with the band, can you do a brief history of how everything began for the band?
Okay, so we started in 2006. So that means that we're 60 years old band. I'm 32 years old, so it's half of my life. Okay. It's been in this band, and there's been, of course, like sometimes slower progress, but we just released our fourth album, and things are finally looking, like it's taking off a little bit. We got a record deal by Napalm Records. And we have a management that's helping us, and this is our first European tour. And there's been lots of stuff going on in between, but we've been basically the same lineup almost from the beginning. Yeah. Just drummer has changed, and now we're touring with a guitarist, a standing guitarist, because our own guitarist is home from because family reasons. But yeah, we're now promoting our fourth album, Voices in the Sky, and really looking forward to actually kind of start kicking off our career to a new level. So.
Okay, so you were talking about your latest album, so Voices in the Sky was released in August 26th of this year. How did the writing go, and did you have to work differently because of the pandemic, and did this period influence the lyrics and the themes of this album?
Definitely, it changed a lot. In the recent years, our process has been kind of like that. I write the ideas, because I'm a music producer, and I write the stuff, my ideas digitally, program them with a MIDI, and then I send them to our guitarist Joona to or he comes to my place. That's often the best, I go to his place, goes to my place, and then we make my melodies into riff versions. But because of the pandemic, the process was totally stopped, because also we had some members in our both families who are really sensitive to any kind of infections and stuff. So we couldn't meet face to face, and this really it took a year to kind of recalibrate this whole how to work, and it kind of forced me to learn to play a little bit guitar, and just enough to make the ideas, I record them slowly and then edit them to make. So it made the process really slow and painful, and of course it's not very inspiring, to write music, especially for a group which is kind of used to having this kind of collaboration between us two, and then also because the most inspiring thing I think for me is playing shows and seeing the reactions of people, actually getting the feedback. So it's a really lonely time to be alone at home and trying to kind of just from memory, how would this feel in a live setting. So yeah, it took a really long time. I think 1 year was just kind of wasted in just being frustrated. But then when we found what works, which is I make the kind of the things at home pretty far, and then I send to him, and then he can okay, so this riff like this and blah blah, and then it came with the frustration came like a avalanche, and then everything was finished really fast. Okay. So it was, bottled up anger, and it influenced everything. The lyrics, many of the songs, they talk about traveling, for example. It's one thing that we really was missing. And I only realized it later. I was making interviews, so what are the themes? This is about travel. But the title track, Voices in the Sky, the title track, it's about touring. And it's about wanting, please, let me tour. Just let me on a bus, and especially let me on a bus with my favorite bands from my youth, like this Fintroll. That's why after the first show, we drinking till the morning with the Fintroll guys, and we said, okay, we're going to be good friends, and we just started this, and then I was going to sleep in my bus bunk and thinking, oh fuck yeah, this is what this is about. This is the shit, man.
Remember, it was like
Yeah, and it's a small tear of joy, and then fall asleep like a baby.
Okay, cool. Musically speaking, BRYMIR is often described as a melodic death metal band, but with many influences like symphonic metal, orchestral music, power metal, folk. How do you manage to combine all this style of metal?
Well, I think it's kind of natural because this is the music that, for me and for the other guys in the band, this is the what we've been listening to always. It's just the blood in our veins. So, and because I also work a lot with sound. I'm a sound engineer, and I work currently with film sound and film and music production. So it leaves kind of not so much time to listen to music because my ears are always tired. So I think the influences, it's the same stuff we listened to when we were young, since we were like 13, 14, started coming up in metal, and it's just a total mixed cocktail of this stuff, and it just comes out like puking it.
Natural.
It's very natural. Yeah, that is the sound of BRYMIR, is the sound of our growing up in the metal scene in Helsinki.
Okay. You recorded this album, Voices in the Sky, yourself. How was it a choice for you, and how important is it to you?
Well, this is the third time we produce an album ourselves, like from recording, mixing, mastering we always do somewhere else, but this is the third time, and every time we did, we said this is the last time, because it's so hard, because you start the process from the songwriting, and you expose yourself to the same songs again and again and again in different phases, and it's like looking in a mirror all the time, and you only see the scars and the shit, and so, but every time, for some reason, we end up doing it ourselves. But I think it's because the process can be non-linear. You can make changes really far, and you don't need to be so prepared. You can just go to studio and slowly, over a course of 2 years, like some of the songs can be finished from the first week, and some vocals can be recorded last day before mastering. But I'm again saying to you, I don't ever want to do this shit again this way. But maybe you will find me in 1.5 years in the same position. So.
Okay, cool. As you said at the beginning, the new album was released on Napalm Record. How did this opportunity arise, and what can this label can bring to you?
Well, it's funny because so many bands, contacting the label, sending demos. But I was going shopping with my girlfriend, and my pling plong, my phone. It's like, new email from Napalm Records. Do you want the recording contract? I'm like,
oh, yeah, really?
Is this a joke? And but then of course we have a manager, and we negotiated the terms for some time, and.
But they came to you.
They came to us, yeah. Yes, and that felt really good. Like, okay, they noticed, and I think the collaboration is going to bring very, very, very good things, because they're really strong in our genre, and they have a really good worldwide network, and they're doing the PR has been really good, yeah. Especially now with the first album. It was kind of a rush to kind of wrap it up. Mm. But during this tour, I've met with some of the guys from Napalm in different cities, and we have a really good communication. And I'm really looking forward for the future, how we can work and really, really collaborate and bring this BRYMIR stuff to the world.
Is it a contract for many records, or just one by one?
It's plus options, okay. But I'm pretty certain we're gonna keep on rocking.
We wish to you too, of course, because it's a very good label. Yeah, you've been a musician for a long time now. You have got 32 years, but you play music for many years now. What was the first piece of music that moved you?
Well, my father is a musician. He's a drummer. He's like he plays guitar and drums and sings. And my mother is a flute player, plays classical music. So. Yes, so I think like this, like chamber music, like Bach, for example, with a small ensemble. Mm-hmm. This is what I grew up, ever since before I was born. My mother was practicing. Yeah. So there's something about this, like this kind of Bach-esque, classical sound that always moved me, which invokes emotions. And then there's also the groove. Like my father had, he was playing in a band for kids, children's band, making like rock songs and funk songs and reggae songs for kids. Okay. So that also, like, it's like rocking out. Like I was 2 years old when I was first time on stage, like banging some bongos, and that was like getting the groove, and loud sound. Maybe because my father is a drummer, so like that's maybe why you can find this certain sound in BRYMIR, because like this Bach kind of emotional stuff combined with just banging stuff loud and fast. So yeah, you can say from that. But then again, when I was 11 years old, I asked my father, is there anything faster than Metallica? And he said, I don't know. So he brought me to this Spine Farm Records store. They had a record store in Helsinki. And the guy there in the store, he gave me Dimmu Borgir, Puritanical Misanthropic Euphoria album, and Fiendtrolls Jagdens, and I was 11. And these two albums were they kickstarted my metal addiction. Okay. So that's why I'm so super happy to be here with Fiendtroll,
I understand. I understand why you're happy to be with Fiendtroll touring. What was the first concert you attended as a fan?
I think it was the same year I got hooked on metal, like 2001. I think it was spring. The same summer, my father brought me to Tuska Festival in Finland. Then it had only been up for a few years and was pretty small. It's in the center of Helsinki in a park. Okay. And I walked in. I'd already heard some of like Rotten Sound, the grindcore band. Yeah. And the first thing, I was a small boy with my father. I walked into the gates and I see this Keijo, the singer from Rotten Sound, with face painted in blood, screaming, and the Kai Hahto playing the blast beats. And then I'm like, this is I'm hooked. That was my first like really metal kind of experience live, and after that we went every year to the park to Tuska until 2008 or something. That was the highlight of the year. Yeah. Okay.
It's a good beginning, Tuska Festival. So you are touring with Fiendtroll and Skullmold for this massive, as I said, European tour, and this is a very, very good exposure for you. What are your plans after this European tour?
I want to start writing new stuff immediately, because already like every time you play songs that you already have written, our new album and older songs, you always get some kind of you notice something like, okay, this hook worked really well for the crowd or something. So I'm like a kettle boiling. I'm soon gonna explode because I'm so many ideas. Okay. And so yeah, writing new music and figuring out how to sort out my life so that I can just write more. But first I had to maybe go and get some surgery because I damaged my hand in Oslo on gig show number 3. Okay. I fell really badly and it's fractured. Okay. Like here, and it's not healing, so I'm now sorting out with insurances how I can get like immediate attention. So we start with that, and then I'm gonna write shitload of music. Yeah.
You first.
Yep.
Okay, so to conclude, did you have some words? We are in France, of course. You are playing many shows in France. Some words, something to add to the people, to your French fans, because I'm sure you've got, of course, and the people that are gonna discover you at the show.
Well, first of all, I think France is one of the countries in Europe where we have most established fans from going back to even to the demo times, 2006. And that's so cool to meet these people, to meet you guys here. And also, I have to say, like, France audience is insane. We like crowd surfing and fucking circle pits and Wall of Death, for opening band at 8 in the evening. It's not, my mind is blown, and I'm so happy to be here, and I can't wait to get back. And the food has been so good every day that I almost don't know if I can play because I eat so much. So France fucking rocks, and I want to get back here as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you very much. This was Viktor from BRYMIR, coming from Iceland for Finland. Sorry, Iceland, Nordic, but not Iceland, Finland. And wish you a lot of good things, of course, for you, for the band, for your family, for your friends, and buy the albums. Very important. Buy the merchandising. Support your bands. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.